Hey, what's going on? I got some more comedy for y'all right here. We talking about Bad Vibes by your boy Dan St. Germain, all right? This is the first time right here, all right? So let's go. Let's see if you got it or not.
Drugs and alcohol have affected every area of my life. It's affected my relationship with women and my relationship with sex. This is small aside. I spent $1,500 to have a escort come over one night, and I couldn't get it up, so I just spent all night holding her hand like it was the first date. Where I'm like, hey, if I pay extra, can we do that animal cracker scene from Armageddon? It's affected my relationship with my family. My family, once I was naked in my parents' living room doing lines. Naked's the official uniform of cocaine, by the way. That's like Superman's cape. And they came home early, and the only thing that I could think to say was, don't come in, I'm masturbating. You know your life's in a sad place if masturbation's the safe option with your parents. And then when they turned their back, I took the rest of the cocaine, put it in a bag, and shoved it up my ass so I could do the cocaine in the basement while they were asleep before they got up for work at 6 a.m. I did coke the same way Golem eats. But it's the biggest area of my life it's affected are my relationships with my friends, my friendships. When I was 20 years old, I was actually a janitor at a middle school, which at the time didn't fit. Now it looks like it fits. Like
He looked just like a janitor.
now I look like the guy who's like, hey, if you kids want to miss dodgeball, I'll tell you how I got this hook, you know? But at the time it didn't fit. I was very clean face. And my friend called me up and he said, hey, I got tickets to the Gathering of the Vibes. It's this jam band festival in upstate New York. Yeah, it was like I went there in high school. I had a really fun time there in high school. I did a lot of drugs. I met a chick. It was fucking great, right? And I'm 20. Right at this point, like I'm getting way more it's like my fucked up times are getting way more dark. But I'm excited because I'm like working the shitty job. My life's in a shitty place. And I'm like, all right, I have something to look forward to on one of these janitor weekends. That sounds like the worst buddy comedy ever. Get ready for Janitor Weekend, starring Zach Braff and another Zach. Still a lot of Zachs in that movie. Anyway, my friend picks me up. We stop at my friend John. He picks me up. We stop at the liquor store. He already should have known there was going to be a problem that weekend because he got a 12-pack of beer and I bought like a handle of Black Velvet whiskey. Oh my God! That's like what you drink in like a baby shower on Deadwood, you know? So. We get in the car. I'm getting like fucking hammered the whole trip to this, and I'm just getting drunk. I'm like starting to argue with him. Like it's not making any sense. And we get to the Gathering of the Vibes, and at this Gathering of the Vibes has changed since the last time I was there. It was like peace, love, and understanding. Now there's like one good vibe, and all the other vibes are. I wonder how much ecstasy I can get if I steal that guy's iPod. You know, and. We're in the car, we're arguing, and then all of a sudden, we're online, we're like in a car line waiting to go into this festival, and the back door opens, and I swear to God, this old man walks in, and he looked like, imagine if like Burt's Bees had like a cousin, but instead of selling bee shit, he just sold the milk he squeezed from possums, you know? And he sits down, and we look at him and he just goes, don't mind me passing through. And he passes out in the back like it was a bonus round on Oregon Trail.
You know what? Homeboy would have got his ass kicked out my car immediately.
But I'm such a drunk. My friend doesn't even notice that because I'm already fucking, I'm already yelling at him. And I'm like, he's like, stop fucking with the air conditioner. And I'm like, your mom's an air conditioner. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. Stop playing Stevie Nicks Landslide. I'm like, it's a good song. Go fuck yourself. We're fighting back and forth. We're fighting so much that in the middle of it, the old guy just wakes up and he goes, okay, and he leaves. I was so annoying, I made a hobo turn down shelter. That's how annoying I was. He's like, I'd rather die in the cold than deal with this shit. I'm going back to Hobo Island. But we're fighting more and more. You know, we're coming down to the 10 area. He's like, fuck you, Dan. I'm like, fuck you. He's like, what's your problem? The Iraq War was wrong. He's like, you're not making any sense. I jump out of the car as it's driving. Now, this sounds like very Lethal Weapon-y and impressive, but the car was only going 10 miles an hour, so it just looked like the most low-stakes hostage situation ever. So he stops the car, he runs after me, grabs me, and he goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I go, living, bro, and I punch him in the face and run away. Like, there's happy drunk, there's sad drunk, I was runaway drunk. I don't remember much of the night. What I do remember is I remember I had taken 2 hits of acid, and I was nervous because I drank so much that I was going to pass out and not experience the acid. So I bought a gram of cocaine that I immediately did to my dome. And
uppers, downers, all that mixed together is not a good combination.
I remember I turned to the guy who sold me the cocaine, and I'm like, oh, you want to talk now? And he goes, I'm cool, and he walks away. He's probably a doctor now. And then that's all I remember. I pass out, and then I woke up the next day, and I was in my friend's trunk, and the trunk was open, and my friend is like sitting in the corner, like he's like sitting on one of those like camp chairs, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's looking off into the distance, and it's that palpable feeling of I fucked up, you know. And I turn to him and I'm like, hey John. He goes, what? I go, I'm sorry. And he goes, sorry for what? For punching you in the face? And then he goes, the first time or the second time? Apparently later in the night I punched him in the face again. So it wasn't a good scene. I walked away. I found like this like little creek near the not creek. It was like just kind of a ditch, and I started like puking because I was fucking hungover from that. It looked like the whole thing was like the most white trash Ansel Adams photo ever. And then this dude comes up in back of me, and then I just hear Rico. And I'm like, what? No. And I'm like forcing myself to puke. And he's like, Rico. He's like, I'm not Rico. I'm not Rico. And he goes, no, you're Rico. I'm like, I'm fucking not Rico. And then he takes out his digital camera and he shows the pictures. And I had been partying with that guy the night before and told him my name was Rico. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. He goes, no, don't worry, man. You were fucking hilarious. You told great stories. You helped my friend Mike through a breakup. You like played him this Bob Dylan song that helped. And then he goes, how's law school going? I told him I was going to law school. It's good. It's good. And then he goes, dude, come here. And then he like puts a fucking clump of mushrooms in my hand. And I look at it and I'm like, well, when in upstate New York and I eat the mushrooms, cut to like a half hour later, at this point I'm like starting to feel the body buzz. And he goes, hey, dance for us like you did last night. And I'm like, what? So I start dancing, and they think it's hilarious, but I think it's sexy because I'm tripping. Like, it looked like if Jabba danced for Leia, you know? It was like the opposite of what it normally is. So, and then I start dancing away from them, but then they follow me, and we're all dancing in this line through the festival. And in the distance, I see my friend John, and he looks at us and he goes, what the fuck, Dan? Like, and then the guy in back of me goes, it's not Dan, it's Rico. And then he goes, it's fucking Dan. And he's like, no, it's Rico. And then John's like, it's Dan. And then the guy reaches in his pocket, pulls out some more mushrooms, goes up to my friend John, puts it in his hand, and my friend John looks at the mushrooms. He goes, you know, Dan was rude, obnoxious, violent, and drunk last night, but this guy Rico, well, he seems pretty cool. And he ate the mushrooms, and we all partied together. It was 2 rehabs later. I'm still dancing. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yeah. All right, man. I don't condone drug use of any kind. You understand what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own. I tripped a few times safely. Yo, I had a great experience. You hear me? All right, now. Make sure you hit that like button if you like this video, all right? And make sure you subscribe. I need the growth. Let's go. I'll see you in the next one. Chill.